fun playing flag football? So like 5 of you had a good time? 6! 6 of you had a good time. Capture the flag, whatever. There was a football involved, right? Oh, see, that confused me. What else? It doesn't take much. Yeah, because I didn't play. That means my armpits still smell good. Yours probably don't smell them. Oh, yeah. I've heard of that. I washed mine off this morning. Oh, well. How are you guys doing? Sweaty?
Sorry about that, Josh.
Well, we're going to talk for a few minutes tonight about something that I love. It's like a really big deal to me. We're going to talk about self-worth. Self-worth, if you look in the good old dictionary, or this day and age we would just ask the Google, is defined as the sense of one's own value or worth as a person. In other words, what do you think about yourself? How valuable do you think you are as a person? So, if anybody in here is familiar with social media, I'm pretty sure that would be all of you. I was cheesing for Josh.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I love those e-cards, like the sum cards. You know what I'm talking about?
Like the one behind you.
Like that one. Yeah, like that one. So I love sarcasm too. It's like my second language. And I like this one because it says, I have a problem with low self-esteem, which is really kind of ridiculous when you consider how amazing I am. The irony there is that obviously you don't have low self-esteem because you just call yourself amazing. But I want you guys to apply that to yourselves in that if you struggle with low self-esteem, that's stupid because you're all amazing.
Yes.
You're very welcome. Oh, I'm going to lift you a little higher later. We're all going to be like on cloud 9 when we leave here. Some of that, yeah. Alright, so the Bible tells us, Austin, if you could throw that verse up on the screen for me. Are not 2 sparrows sold for a penny? Yet not one of them will fall to the ground outside your Father's care. And even the very hairs of your head are all numbered. So do not be afraid. You are worth more than many sparrows. So I'm going to tell you guys, I have a little something for y'all tonight. That verse, I wanted to do something cool for y'all and give you guys something that you can take away tonight. And I racked my brain for like the last week trying to think of it. And like 15 minutes before it was time for me to go home from work today, I was like, that's what I could do for them. So it's kind of cheesy, but I want you to know that it comes with a lot of thought. So they come on these little bookmarks that all say something random. You can forget about that part. I mean, it has like good Jesus stuff on it, but that's not what I got you. I got you these little pennies that have a cross cut out because on days where you feel like you're not good enough or you're struggling with whether or not your life has a purpose, you can stick it on your keychain, you can carry it in your pocket, whatever, set it on your dresser. I want that to be a reminder to you guys that you are worth more than 2 sparrows. You are worth more than anything like that. Like, you are so important to God.
Thanks, Ashley.
You're welcome. I got you, man. Cool. All right. So, sometimes the way we view ourselves is a direct connection to the cards we've been dealt. So, what I mean by that is like, maybe you can't afford all new clothes. Maybe you gotta like hit up the Goodwill. That's cool. This shirt came from Goodwill. Represent. $6 shoes. You're wearing $6 shoes. And Brittany's proud of her $6 shoes. Or you know, maybe you can afford all name brand stuff and brand new stuff. Maybe you don't have a good home life. My parents divorced when I was at a really young age. I spent the most part of my childhood flying on a plane by myself. You can't do that now. Between Florida and Tennessee with a flight attendant chaperone. That's how I visited my parents.
I did that.
Did you?
Yeah.
Cool kids right here.
I don't know my father.
Wow.
Word. Okay, so you know, maybe your home life sucked. Maybe your family doesn't have a lot of money, or maybe you do have a lot of money, and maybe you let those things define you in your mind. Like you think, I'm not good enough because I don't have this, or maybe you think I'm better than them because I do have this. Those things do not define your self-worth. All right, let me tell you. You may think they do, but you're wrong. Let's throw up that next verse, Austin. Romans 5:8. says, "But God shows his love for us, and that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us." On those days where you think that you're not important and that you don't matter and that you're not amazing, think about the fact that Jesus Christ thought you were pretty freaking awesome because he laid down his life for you. He died for you before you ever even gave him the time of day. You still may not have surrendered your life to him, but he already died for you. He knows if you will or won't surrender your life to him at some point, and he loves you just the same. Nothing you do from this day forward or that you've ever done will change the amount of love that he has for you.
That's good.
Yeah, it is. Preach! Can I get an amen?
Amen.
That's what's up.
Hallelujah.
Woo!
Preach it.
Alright, so white girl represent. Alright, so if you're using the YouVersion app tonight, or if you're taking notes or whatever, I do have a couple of fill in the blanks for you. So this one is, my life has a purpose. God has enabled me. I want you to say that with me. My life has a purpose. God has enabled me. Made you capable. Gave you the power. Gave you the skill. Gave you the ability. Like, God didn't enable me to play sports. Especially basketball, because I'm like a midget. He didn't enable me there. I did. 5 foot, 31 years old, whatever. I almost need a booster seat. You might still grow a little. Maybe. There's still hope. So, oftentimes we give into peer pressure, and we do that because we're looking for a cheap shot attempt to try to boost our popularity level. Because when you're in school, high school and middle school, you think that your popularity level is a direct connection to how much you're worth as a person. Again, you're wrong. I like telling people they're wrong. This is good stuff. All right, so some examples of that that came to my mind when I was preparing this message for you guys. Sex. I know a lot of people want to have sex and they think that's going to give them a temporary high. Yeah, it feels good. That's why God created it. But he didn't create it for you to try to play with it and have fun with it now. Save it for later. Take my advice. Drugs. I smoked pot. It got me absolutely nowhere. So if you like to toke it up now and then, I promise you it's still not going to get you anywhere. One day you're going to wish you wouldn't have done so much. Drugs are bad, okay? Alcohol. Yep. Been there, done that too. Going to get trashed on the weekends helps you forget about how sucky your week at school was. Helps you forget about why your mom griped at you before you walked out the door. She's mad because you're failing math class and you didn't clean your room. So let me just go smoke and get drunk and have sex all weekend, and that'll make it feel better. You might forget about it for a couple of days, but then Monday comes back around and your life starts all over again. Am I right?
Right.
I'm right. Just say I'm right.
You're right.
See, I knew it.
You're wrong.
110. Y'all, I broke 100. For some of you guys, it might be peer pressure to participate in violence, games, stuff like that. And something that we really didn't have to deal with when I was in school, but I know it's kind of a big deal now, is cutting. Like, don't harm yourself. Your body, if you are a Christian, is the temple of God. Do not deface it. Do not hurt it. It gets you nowhere. The pain, again, like drugs and alcohol, is a temporary high. It's not worth it, guys. Don't give in to that pressure. The next blank I have for you guys is, if we didn't already love ourselves, we wouldn't care whether or not we felt good about ourselves. So, deep down somewhere, you care. You know that you're worthy. You may not realize how worthy you are, but you know that you're important to some degree. Otherwise, you wouldn't really care what anybody thought, and you wouldn't try so hard to make yourself better, I use that term loosely, to try to make other people like you. Tap into that existing love. Nurture it. Talk to God. Be like, God, I'm really struggling. I do not feel like I'm worth anything. The penny in my pocket with a cross cut out in the middle of it. Please, God, help me see myself the way you see me. Help me realize that if I were not so important, you wouldn't have laid down your life for me. You did that for a reason. You did it because you love me that much. He laid down his life for you. there's like a saying that's like, Jesus loves me, he thinks I'm to die for. Get it? Because he laid down his life for you. It's so true, though. It's totally true. Psalm 139:14, Austin, says, I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. It doesn't say that you were made for like 2 cents by a 7-year-old in a sweatshop in China. Okay, like your genuine stamp, you are worth so much. Your price tag is so high. Self-worth comes from believing that you're worthy. Your self-worth is how much you believe in yourself. It's what you think about yourself. So if you start to believe that you're worthy and you start to believe that you're important, then your self-worth is going to go up. So tap into that. Ask God to show you how worthy you are. Proverbs 31:25 says, she is clothed with strength and dignity, and she laughs without fear of the future. Guys and girls, this is where I'm about to get real with you, and this is going to get me on a soapbox. So, I cannot stand on social media when I see, Austin, that graphic, it's good Lord, well, the microphone's in the way. Don't let Instagram define your self-worth. Okay, Facebook, Twitter. What are all those other loser sites that you use? Which one? iFunny. Okay, any of them. Let me tell you what drives me absolutely crazy is when I see people asking to be rated. I tried to find an example of that where it's one that I've seen is where it's a picture, a quadrant you can make on PicStitch or something on your phone. And it's 2 or 4 girls and they're numbered. And then you put it up and you tag these girls. And then you're like, oh, rate, who's better? Who's prettier? Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. You're all beautiful. You're all freaking awesome. It does not matter what that snob in your 3rd period math class thinks about you. Do not let that kind of crap define who you are. Don't! I cannot stand seeing that stuff. I just want to comment and be like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Get off Instagram right now. Delete your account because this is not what you should be looking at. Ladies, guys too, carry yourselves with dignity. Don't let fear of popularity affect who you are in Christ. And don't miscalculate your worth by multiplying your insecurities. When you put stuff up like this on social media and you're trying to see how many likes and comments and followers and whatever you get from it, we all do it. I mean, we've all been guilty of it at some point. You're waiting on those likes and comments and stuff to flood because you want to see, okay, well, this looks like a really pretty picture of me. I bet if I get a lot of comments on it, everybody else will think it's a really pretty picture of me too. Adults do it too. We're all guilty. We all struggle with it because we all want to feel like we're worthy and people view us at a higher level. It's totally normal. The next thing, I kind of already skipped ahead though. You can throw that next one up, Austin, the follow me. Follow me for a TBH and a rate. I talked about the rate, but to be honest, it really doesn't matter what somebody thinks about you. To be honest, whether or not you like my haircut, hashtag that. Whether or not you like my haircut or my shirt or how I wing my eyeliner or don't wing my eyeliner, I do not care. Yes. Look, stand and applause. Y'all, that is a desperate attempt to feel worthy on social media. So, hashtag that. Don't be desperate.
That's going to definitely be a world record.
You a dime piece. Don't be desperate. So, when I was on Instagram, and I wanted to try to find you a really good example of it, and I was searching hashtags for the, rate me, whatever. I really expected to see nothing but a bunch of duck-faced teenager girls.
Thank you.
I saw nothing but guys. Thank you. Spoke too soon there, Hunter. How's that foot taste? I mean, seriously, you don't need a stupid website to validate your worth. Girls, you are setting special standard. Seriously, the stuff you see on TV and on magazines, that is not real beauty. Those girls are airbrushed and photoshopped and everything else. Filtered, yes. I've done it too. I'll be like, I'll take a really cute picture of myself, in my mind, because I try to have good self-worth. And I stick some filters on it, and I'm like, ooh, my complexion looks so good with this filter. Ooh, my teeth look really well. I love how my hair looks in this filter. And then I use that one. Okay, like I said, we're all guilty of it. But, like I said, don't worry about what other people think about you. Those people, they didn't, and they will not lay down their life for you. But Jesus Christ did. The way you treat yourself sets the standard for how you will allow others to treat you. If you don't like the way you're being treated, if you're always caught up in the middle of some drama, check your price tag. What'd you put on it? Are you putting yourself out there like you're worth 99 cents? Or are you priceless? Yes, that was good. Are you representing on the clearance rack? Or are you locked up under lock and key in the high dollar? Just think about it. So it could be a friendship, it could be a relationship, it could be any of those things. School drama, save the drama for your mama. If the drama llama always follows you no matter where you go, you might be the drama llama. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Check your price tag. And just a little word of encouragement if you're struggling with any of those things. Who you are now is probably not who you're going to be later. Because this phase of your life that you're in is just a stage. You may feel like you're grown and you may feel like you're stuck here, but I promise you, part of growing up is maturing and moving on to the next level. Yep. You're not going to be stuck here forever. It's just a valley, and you can't get to the top of the mountain without going through the valley. Yep. So, don't worry. Don't be stuck. Don't be discouraged. Pray. Ask God to help you see yourself the way He sees you, and ask Him to help you define your self-worth. And if you're feeling like you're not worth it, check your price tag. Maybe you marked yourself down and you didn't even know it. We're going to have these pennies in the back, so when you leave tonight, come grab one. I got a quick video that I want to show you guys, and then after that, Josh is going to come up and close.
Everybody tells me, Daisha, you're going to be famous. I'm going to turn on the TV and see that you made it. I'm going to be watching the Grammys, and when I look a little closer, I'm going to smile and say, yeah, that's Daisha. I know her. And that's cool and all, but to be honest, my focus has recently changed because I'm not in this for the fame. I now have a higher aim. And no matter how successful I become, I could be making 6 figures or 7. I don't care about that. I just want to make it to heaven. And I am enough. It took me a while to say that to myself because the world told me that I needed to look like someone else. Look at it, y'all. That nose and those ears, she's so skinny, if she turns sideways, she'll probably disappear. And it was at that moment there that all I wanted to do was go away. Because it wasn't my fault I was thin, God had just made me that way. And after being bullied, I realized that I put my appearance as number one, and when all those kids were throwing shade, all I needed was the sun. And that's the problem with the world. We define our worth based on our looks and the things that we possess. You ain't cool unless you're smoking, drinking, and having sex. You post your BMW on Instagram and flex. You follow him, shout her out, and think of the followers you'll get. But what you don't realize is that you're perfect. That smile of yours is a killer, but your followers wouldn't know that because you always use a filter. And as those likes grow, so does your ego, and your self-esteem starts to rise. Focus on what everyone thinks of you, everyone but God. And our society is defined by money and fancy cars, and I'm sorry, Shailene Woodley, but that's the real fault in our stars. But we don't admit it. Nah, we don't even pray. Instead, we put in all our efforts into getting those new J's. And I was that girl who said that I just wanted someone who was real. But instead, I went after guys who were obsessed with their insecurities and how to keep them concealed. I tried to follow God, but I was still chilling with Satan in the PM, called myself a Christian, but when people looked at me, they didn't see him. and I was ready to give up. But a friend told me, go to God. He can save you. Then he made all my sins disappear like that plane from Malaysia. I was spiraling downhill, and he came at the perfect time. He couldn't have came any sooner. He caught me and secured me looking like Odell Beckham Jr. So let me tell you about my God. If you didn't know, he performs miracles with ease, and I ain't talking magic shows. My God is powerful, and you'll see if you just apply a little faith. This man walked on water, and I can't even ice skate. He had 99 problems, but death wasn't one, and it wasn't any stranger. He sent his only son. His limitless love and blessings are pouring down on us like rain, but we need someone to step up and be different other than 2 Chainz. And although I mess up, he works with me, and he's patient, and there's someone who's watching this video right now who isn't ready to commit, but don't worry, he's waiting. Because eventually, that life of sin gets old, of being carefree and reckless, because eventually, you'll be hopelessly searching for satisfaction, kind of like me trying to find a good movie on Netflix. And he wants you to wake up, but you keep on hitting snooze. Tell his word, spread of his love, and forget the followers you may lose. Because I could die tomorrow. So I'm stepping up now, and I'm praising him with every second. I woke up this morning, I'm in good health, and trust me, that's a blessing. And to be real, nothing was more real than the water that dripped. No blood was even possible. It left during the whips. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. This man gave his life for me and for you. And there's a reason why they don't have compartments and caskets where you can store all of your stuff. Because all you have is your life, what you made of it, and if it was truly enough. And when my life finally ends and I meet God on Judgment Day, all I want is to hear him exclaim, well done, my good and faithful servant. You can stay.